Let's go ahead and work on this new factory pattern called the abstract factory pattern. Let's start off with a definition. It provides an interface for creating families of related or dependent objects without specifying their concrete classes. It works around a super factory which creates other factories. This factory is also called a factory of factories. Some benefits of using this is it provides loose coupling. You avoid tight coupling between concrete products and the client. It also provides single responsibility principle, meaning you can extract the product creation code into one place, making the code easier to support. It also follows the open-close principle, meaning you can introduce new variants of products without breaking existing client code. Some cons to using this is supporting new kinds of products is difficult. Extending abstract factories to produce new kinds of products isn't easy. And what are some use cases in which we might want to consider using this pattern is when your code needs to work with various families of related products, but you don't want it to depend on the concrete classes of those products. All right, so next let's go ahead and look at a diagram that I created here as to how we're going to work on this example using the abstract factory. So if we look over here, starting from the top right, is we have the client. So we know that the client is what starts everything off. In this case, the client is going to make use of, or it's going to ask the factory creator to create a specific factory for us, which is going to be of either online store factory or in-store factory. Both of these factories are extending the store factory. And at the very bottom here, we have some concrete products which are implementing, we have these 4 concrete products which are implementing the payment method, and we have these 3 concrete products which are implementing a shipping product, abstract product. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna start off from the very bottom and work my way upwards to build out this system that you see here. We're going to start off with the concrete products for the payment method. So we'll actually, before we create the concrete products, we're going to have to create the abstract product of payment method, which is an interface. So let's do that here. We'll say interface is payment method. This payment method is going to have process payment, and this will take in an amount of type number. Okay, process payment. All right, next let's go ahead and create our concrete products for this payment method. So we have 4 of them here. We have PayPal, Stripe, credit card, and cash on site. So we'll start off with PayPal. Say PayPal implements, right? We're implementing because we're working with the interface. And of course, since this is an interface, we're going to have to, actually, you know what? I forgot to add the return type here. This is going to return, we're going to do void here. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this here, the signature method right there. And here we're going to implement this process payment. So we're going to do a console log. And let's do a message saying processing here. Let's say the amount. And let's also add we're going to actually add a $sign. It's going to be double $signs, right? Because we also want to actually have visible when we display this the $sign. So processing the amount via PayPal. All right, so as of now, we have created this interface for payment method, and we created this concrete product of PayPal. So now we have remaining these three concrete products: Stripe, credit card, and cash on site. So what we can do is go ahead and copy this PayPal 3 times for the other concrete products. So we had Stripe. Let's see, we had credit card. And then we have, what was the other one? Cash on site. Okay, for the messages for Stripe, let's see, processing amount via Stripe. And this for credit card, let's say credit card. And then this one, we're gonna, let's see, processing amount via, yeah, cash on site. Cash on site. All right. So as of now, we have this section here. Let's go ahead and create our abstract product of shipping here. So I'm going to create that right underneath this interface. Interface, say shipping. This is going to have a method of get shipping. Get shipping. No arguments taken here, and void. It's not going to return anything. All right, and as a matter of fact, what we can do here is let's go ahead and add some comments for this here. So these are going to be the abstract. This is the abstract product. Here we have our abstract or concrete products. Concrete products. Concrete abstract of products. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and work on our concrete products for the shipping. So we have standard, express, and product on site. I'll copy one of these here. And this is implementing shipping. We'll get this method here to follow the signature. And let's go ahead and implement this code. So we're going to get shipping. We'll do a console log and say shipping oh no, actually, wait, where is it? Cash on site. No, let's start with, actually I gotta change this. Shipping for this one's gonna be standard. Yeah, because what I'll do is here I'll work my way from left to right. So we'll do standard, express, and then product on site. So this one here is standard, and we'll console log shipping standard delivery. Copy this 3 times or 2 times. This one will be express. Shipping express delivery. And then the third one, product on site. Product on site. All right, so at this point we have our abstract products. We created our concrete products. So now let's go ahead and create this abstract factory, which in this case we have store factory. This is going to be an abstract class. Oh. And I'm going to go ahead and comment this. I'm going to say abstract factory. Okay, there we go. Abstract class, call store factory. Oops. store factory. And for this store factory, we're gonna want two methods. We're gonna want create payment method and create shipping. Here is gonna be an abstract, create shipping, or create payment method. And this will take a type, or let's just say payment type, which is of string, and this will return a payment object to us, payment method object. I'll go ahead and copy this one below, and this will be create shipping. We'll say shipping type, and this one is going to return a shipping object to us, just like so. All right, so now we have our abstract factory, which is this one right here. And we're going to have two factories that are going to extend the store factory. So we have the online store factory and in-store factory. So let's start with the online store factory. Let's do a class online store. Oh, I should do one. There we go. Like this. I think that's better. Online store factory. There we go. And then this is going to extend the store factory. Extends. Oop. Extends. There we go. Alright, so what I'll do here is I'm just going to copy these two here, these two signature methods, and now we're going to have to implement them for the subclass or for the concrete factories. So here, let's start off with this payment method, and then we'll work on the create shipping. So for create payment method, what we'll do is we'll run a switch statement and check the payment type that is passed. And we'll do a case if it's PayPal, then we're going to go ahead and return new PayPal. If it's Stripe, will return new Stripe. And we'll run a default. If none of these are passed, then we'll throw a new error and say invalid payment method. Okay. Now on to our next method, create shipping. Similar to the one above, we'll also run a switch statement. So what I'll do is I'll copy this here, paste that right in here. We'll say shipping type. And this is based on an online store factory. So for the shipping, we have, let's see, for this one it's just product on site. Yeah, just product on site. So what I'll do here is I'll say product on site. I'll delete the second case statement. So if product on site, then we're gonna go ahead and create new product on site. And we're gonna throw a new error. If it's invalid, we'll say invalid shipping method, invalid shipping method. Okay, all right, so now we got done. Now we're done with our concrete factory. Let me write this comment here, say concrete factory. So this, what we just got done with, is this concrete factory here. So we also have to create an in-store factory which extends the store factory. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and just copy this one here. Oops. There we go. And this one is called the in-store factory. So we'll change this and say in-store factory. Okay, for the this in-store factory, let's see, for the create payment type, for the payment type, let's see, this is in-store. So for the in-store, we're gonna accept cash on site, and we'll accept the credit card. So we'll say this one works. So if the type is credit card, we're gonna return new credit card. And then if it's also cash on site, we're gonna return new cash on site. And if the payment method is invalid, we'll just keep this here, say invalid payment method. All right, now for the create shipping method within in-store factory, let's see, the shipping type that we're gonna have available for in-store is, well, all we're gonna have is product on site, right? Because if the customer is in the store, then we're gonna have it on site. So let's see, so for here, we'll say oh wait, actually this is a mistake here. Create shipping. No, okay, yeah, there's a mistake here. This is the online store factory. So this is actually the logic is actually mixed up here. This is not supposed to be product on site. This is actually this is where we're gonna want to add the standard shipping. Yeah, so this is actually, so for the online store factory, it's actually a mistake. We're gonna do standard. So if the shipping type is standard, we're gonna do new, remove this and say new shipping. Oh, new standard for new standard delivery. And then also if it's express delivery, then we're going to return new express. There we go. So this is for the online store factory. So if somebody's ordering online, the shipping options are standard, express, standard and express. And of course, in reality, there's other variations that we might want to consider, but just for this demonstration, I just wanted to add two. So we have standard and express. All right, and now for the in-store factory, as far as the shipping goes, we're just gonna have products gonna be on site, right? So there's no shipping, it's gonna be product on site. And then for the by default, we'll throw invalid shipping method. All right, there we go. So that should take care of everything. Okay, so at this point, assuming that everything's good to go for now, we have created our concrete factories here, our two concrete factories, which are extending the abstract factory of right up here. So next step is to create this factory creator. So we'll do that here, and we'll say factory creator. It's gonna be a class factory creator. Oops, no, what am I doing? There we go. All right, and this is we're gonna provide a static method here, which is gonna call get factory. right? It's going to be static because we're not gonna instantiate the new keyword when we call it within the client. So we're gonna have it static and say get factory, and this is gonna take a factory type. Say factory type. This is gonna be a type string, and this will return to us a store factory. There we go, store factory. All right, here we're gonna have a switch statement and check the factory type. Oh, factory type. And the first case statement is if it's online store factory. So if it's online store factory, or you know what? Actually, don't even add the factory. Just say online store. If it's online store, then we're gonna return new online store factory. And then case if it's in store, then we'll go ahead and return new in store factory. And default will throw a new error and say invalid factory. Invalid factory. All right, so now we come down to the part to our testing. All right, we're going to be able to test our code and make sure that everything's working. So by this time, so long as everything's working, is we've taken care of all of this here except for our client. Our client is what's actually going to be, which is going to call, kickstart everything and call the factory creator and create a factory for us. So we'll go down here and create a new client. We're just going to add client. And of course, in reality, right, we want to separate this code into folders and files and stuff like that. But because I'm just demonstrating here and I felt like adding all these, the different folders and going back and forth, it would just make it more difficult. So for this example, I just added everything in this one file here. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this code out. So first things first is we're going to go ahead and call our factory creator. We're going to say factory creator dot get factory, and we have to pass in a factory type. So we can pass in any of these concrete factories, which is either online store factory or in-store factory. Oh no, I take that back. No, my mistake. No, we're going to pass in one of these here, either online store or in-store. And by passing in one of these, it will create the appropriate factory here. All right, so for the first ones, let's start off with, let's say online store. And this is in string, so say online store. And we're going to store that in a variable called online store factory. There we go. All right, so now let's go ahead and call this online store factory. And if I do dot, you can see that we have a list of methods here available to us. So we're going to create this create payment method. And this method is going to take in a string of payment type. So for this online store, let's say we want to make a payment of using Stripe as the payment gateway. So what I'll do is I'll store that in a variable called Stripe, or no, not, I'll just say payment. Say payment. Okay. Next, we'll go ahead and say payment dot process payment. And then this is going to take in an amount. How much are we, what's the amount that we're going to process? We're going to process, let's say we're going to process, say it's going to be in the amount of the products are going to be in the amount of $12. And I'm gonna go ahead and run this here. Expand this here. There we go. So if we look here, all right, here, let me go clear this console, and then I'm gonna, there we go, node index.js. So you see the message processing $12 via Stripe. So we are using as a payment gateway Stripe, and then we are processing the amount of $12, and we get back the processing $12 via Stripe. Let's go ahead and change this. Let's say if we wanted to use PayPal, and we want to process the amount that, let's just imagine the products, everything together sums up to $20 or $25. Let's go ahead and save that, run the code, and processing $25 via PayPal. There we go. All right, great. So now let's actually create here. Let's do another one here. Let's also do online store factory dot, and this time we'll do the create shipping. For this one, we're going to take a type of the shipping type, which is of string. So we can pick a shipping, let's say express delivery. So we'll do express. And I'm going to run this here, see what we get here. Oh, no. Actually, no, let me store that in a variable. Let me store that in a variable called shipping. Let's just say shipping. And then here, I'm going to say shipping dot, and then get shipping. Okay, we're just going to call get shipping. Now if we run this, we see we get shipping express delivery right over here. Shipping express delivery. Perfect. And then of course above we have processing $25 via PayPal. Let's go ahead and change that. Let's just say we change the amount. It's $33. All right, process the $33 via PayPal. All right, so now that we did the online store factory, let's make use of the other factory. Let's say we're not online, but rather we're in store. So we have to, within this factory creator, we have to call this here. Okay, so I am gonna change this from online store and say in store. And then let's say I want to change this to Stripe as far as the payment method. And I'll change my variable name here too, right? It's not online store anymore. It's in store. In store factory. Let's say in store factory. And here I'll change this here to match and say in store factory. Oh, no. Lowercase. There we go. In-store factory create payment. All right, and let's say we want to process $50. Okay, I'm gonna comment this out for a moment here. All right, so we see here we're making use of the factory, which is in store. We're gonna actually, you know what, this is gonna be invalid because in store as far as in store goes, there's no ability to create a payment using Stripe. So actually, let's go ahead and test this out just to see what we get. So let's test this out, and you see we get an error, a new invalid payment method. Okay, so now that this is in store, that means we're in the customer, or we are in a physical location or physical store. So let's go ahead and see what are the options for in store, or what are the payment methods for in store. So if we're in store, we have the ability to pay cash on site or credit card. So we're gonna have to change this. These are the possible alternatives to using. So let's do cash on site. So we can't use Stripe, but we can do cash on site, right? So let's go ahead and save that. And processing payment of $50. All right, so let's go ahead and let me clear this console and rerun the code. And now you see processing $50 via cash on site. Oh, perfect, just like I wanted. Exactly what I was expecting, and everything seems to work. All right, let's go ahead and just verify finally for our last check is for the shipping as well. So this is not online store anymore, but rather this is in-store. So in-store factory, create shipping, or remember that in this case, the shipping, if we're in-store, there's not gonna be a shipping, right? But rather product's gonna be on site. So here's the in-store. As far as shipping, the option we have is product on site. So we get the product directly in store. So what I'll do here is instead of doing express delivery, I'll do on product on site. Create shipping, yeah, whatever. Okay, yeah, well, let's do product on site. Okay, perfect. All right, so now if we do that, I'm gonna save this and then rerun this, and let's see what we get. All right, so there we go. So now we get product on site. So for the shipping is product on site. We as a customer, we're in store, so we get the product on site. All right, so that is it for the abstract factory pattern, and that's it for now.